Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Nilesh Dungarwal, who is the co-founder of WorkIndia, which is India's largest blue collar and gray collar job portal. Hi, Mr. Nilesh. Welcome to ELI.
Thank you. Thank you, Priya, for inviting us.
Nilesh, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, and then we'll, start talking about WorkIndia.
Sure. This is Nilesh. I'm one of the co-founders at WorkIndia. I've done my engineering in computer science from Mumbai.
Mhm,
Post that, I worked in investment bank called Credit Suisse for a couple of years,
mhm,
and then started working in 2015.
mhm,
Uh, when I started WorkIndia, I used to look at tech. In fact, the initial few versions were created by me,
mhm,
but then I moved to business. I've looked at sales, operations, all aspects of businesses, right from starting a new product to scaling it and then get generating revenues.
mhm.
Currently, I look at all the overall operations at Work India. So that's a brief introduction about myself.
Got you. So, uh, take us through the early days of Work India, why it was started in the first place. There are so many job portals out there. So why another job portal?
So so what we realize is right. So I was I, I was just leaving Credit Suisse, right, and uh, what we realized was that during our research was India has a population of 140 crore people,
Hmm.
right? And around 50 crore are working population
Right.
uh, in India, right? Now 25 crore is in agriculture, and the remaining 25 crore is non-agriculture, right?
Mhm.
Now inside this 25 crore people, there are only 1.3 crore which are white collar. That's basically you and me,
Okay.
right? And around 23.7 crore was
Mhm.
the blue collar population.
Okay.
So when we basically understood that, right, and one of our co-founders also used to run another startup, who's also the CEO of the company.
Hmm.
So uh, he basically used to take help from these blue collar people that for data entry, and he used to ask like, from where do you get the job? Like, आपको job कहाँ से मिलती है? And they
Hmm.
used to say, I get from John, I get from this middleman, but all were super unhappy, uh,
Hmm.
right? And there was no platform. So what we realize is that all the platforms that you see in the market is just concentrating on that 1.3 crore population, which is you and me. And then there is a large mass, which is a 23.7 crore population, which are these needy people who who were basically passed or uh, done fraud by these middlemen or these outside people,
Hmm.
and there's no one catering to them. It was a
Okay.
large unorganized market, ripe for disruption, and that's when we decided that this is a massive problem to solve for the country,
Mhm.
for the world, and that's where we started Work India in 2015.
Got you. So, the segment you are trying to disrupt, there is a reason behind why it has not been disrupted by other traditional job portals. The reason is these people are not very tech savvy, internet savvy, and they do not know the process of hunting for a job online. So, how have you solved this problem through Work India? What's the differentiator of Work India over the other job portals?
So how the evaluation like the evolution has begun is that uh, so you and me, right, were basically on desktops first, then we came on to laptop, and now we are on mobile phones.
Hmm.
That's how the evolution has been, and that's how all the traditional platforms have built the product on, right?
Mhm.
And this blue collar population never had this internet thing before 2015, 2016, uh, right?
Mm.
So the all the products which are by traditional companies are specifically for white collar, which are not suitable. So a delivery boy cannot go and apply for a job in a traditional platform.
Mm.
Uh, right. So what we understood is till that point of time, WhatsApp was very popular. Like WhatsApp, YouTube, Google were very popular during even that time in 2015, 16, and all our population who had limited internet connectivity in 2015, 16 used to be on these platforms. And we basically try to understand why are they using these platforms, although they are not tech savvy. What we realize is that if we are able to create a product which is very, very simple to use,
Mm-hmm.
because they were already using WhatsApp, YouTube for the entertainment needs, communication needs. And if we're able to make a platform which is as easy as them,
Mm-hmm.
right? This class of people, this category of people who are into blue and gray collar segment, will also start using for the job needs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So initially, when we developed the product, a lot of focus we still do was on simplicity, on
Mm-hmm.
how can we make sure that uh, the platform is super easy to use. Just
Mm-hmm.
one very simple interesting fact was that in 2015, 16 the internet connectivity was a problem.
Correct.
It used to be 2G, 3G, even 3G used to work like a 2G in some remote areas, right?
Mm.
And the first version that we had created, right, was an offline app.
Okay.
It was basically everything will be done on the background, nothing
Mm-hmm.
will be happening on the front end, and so that the candidates get the seamless experience with no progress bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
That continued in 2018, and that's how we actually started the first product by thinking that we have to make an app which should be usable even if there is no internet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have started from there now to 4G, 5G. Now obviously the app has evolved a lot, but that's what drives the entire thing.
Got you. So, speaking of technology, I understand the platform uses AI technology today. So, can you elaborate on how AI is used in your platform and how it improves the whole process?
So there are two core systems that are the heart of the WorkIndia platform. One is the fraudulent job detection system,
Mm-hmm.
which is AI powered, and the second is the relevancy engine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let me talk about the first one. Let me talk about the problem statement. Right. So we found that our users had lot of trust issues,
Mm-hmm.
that they were very afraid that if I apply a job for online, I will be basically cheated. Someone will charge money. So they never trusted the platforms,
Mm-hmm.
because after a lot of user research, talking to thousands of candidates, we realized was, and this is across India, it's not for a particular destination, is that these users have been cheated by middlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what they do is they will post a job, they'll get candidates, they'll ask a form filling fee, 500,000, $500, $1,000, and then the poor candidate will basically give them the money, and then they will run away and don't give them a job. And if you ask like any candidate, right, their relative or himself would have been cheated by these middlemen,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have built a system, so we only allow genuine jobs. We don't have a middleman onto our platform,
How does that
right? And
work?
it's extremely difficult to basically remove them, right? So what we do is, it's a complex system, which
Mm-hmm.
is a self-learning system, and today we have more than 500,000 data points using which we still filter. And the more data points, the better it becomes, right? Because it's AI powered,
Yeah.
right? The way we do is we actually capture a lot of meta attributes
Mm-hmm.
of the middleman. So, for example, if you come to our platform, not only we will save your email ID and phone number, which is a common ID, but we'll also look at the IMEI number. When you post a job, we'll also save a cookie on your platform, right? And Wi-Fi, right? IP addresses, right? And we save all of this information. Then we also do pattern matching. That there are certain patterns using which this middlemen come in, right? And we have those identified patterns where we know that this is a fraudulent job, right? And today the efficiency is so high that out of 100 jobs that you see on Work India, only 3% are middleman jobs or fraudulent jobs.
Oh, okay.
Right? Versus the other platforms, there will be like 30, 40, 50%. Right? Because in traditional platforms, it's generally the phone number is the only unique ID that you have. Generally, and SIM cards are cheap, right? You will just get another SIM card for $50 and get a new one.
Correct.
Right? So this is what I've done. Second, there is a relevancy engine, making sure that the relevant candidate gets relevant job, which is his needs, and the relevant employers getting relevant candidates as per their requirement, right? Also, there are thousands of meta attributes, patterns that we look at, because on Work India, if you want to get a job, there is no human intervention. It's completely product driven onto the platform, right? And that's one of the reasons we have been able to provide on a monthly basis like 180,000 jobs to people on a monthly basis, right? There are huge volumes on our platform for finding jobs.
Got you. We understood the problem statement. We also understood the platform. Now tell us, how do we make money as a venture? What's our different sources of revenue or revenue channels we have?
So there's only one source of revenue that we make money from is from employers by selling them subscription plans for their hiring needs. As a philosophy, we don't charge candidates. For candidates, it's completely free. We only charge employers for posting job onto our platform. And return, they get relevant candidates quickly. That's the simple business model that we have.
Got you. So one thing I'm curious to understand. So India is a diverse country, and uh, e- even if you look at the apps that cater to whole India, like the e-commerce portals or the Swiggy's or Zomato's, even they also target to a certain category of users, like the urban users and like that. So tell us, what are your challenges, in targeting or catering to a very diverse population of India?
See, the challenges are multifold. So when we basically started engaging with users, right, we started with only English as a language, right? And we saw that people are not very accustomed to that, right? Then we basically introduced English, and like things like Thoda English on the platform, right? It was very new. What is this? Like, never ever heard this word in 2016, 17, right? When we launched this.
Yeah.
Things like the entire app was in English.
Okay.
It still is for North India, Western India. Majority of the north side basically types Hindi in English. Right? And so there was a lot of experimentation that we understood that okay, this works, and this is what the people want, right? Second, India is a diverse country with more than 10 languages, 12 languages, which cover like 85% of the population. Now, having that diverse set of languages on the app was very, very important. So right from our acquisition channel to basically finally getting the outcome, the entire chain was made vernacular, right? And I'm talking about 2016, 17 days when nobody would have thought about it, right? And we did that during that time, and we saw significant improvement in our funnel numbers, people liking our app, organic rates, right? So we're like 50% of our app is word of mouth. people just download it because the friends have told them about the app, right? So that is the power of the platform uh, uh, that we see today because of that.
I read it somewhere that your vision is to provide meaningful livelihood to almost 258 million blue collar workers in India. So I can you tell us how close are you to achieving this vision? What are some of the metrics that your platform has? Can you share?
So we are very far. Obviously, it's a large number. It's like a vision, mission, purpose, right? And the market is huge, and the population is growing. So when we started off, it was 237 million. Today
Hmm.
it is 258,
Hmm.
right? So but the population has grown, and so basically when we started off, right, we used to see few hundred hires, 200 hires. It used to be, it's a large number, right?
Hmm.
Today we are providing livelihoods to 1.8 lakh people in a month. Right? That is close to 2 million in a year, 20 lakh people in a year. They're providing meaningful livelihoods,
Hmm.
right? Nobody would have, I don't know how even 20 lakh people look like. Right? If you just look at a stadium, if there are 1 lakh people sitting who have provided you a job, right? It's a very, very massive and large number.
Hmm.
But still, it's the final goal is 258 million people, still very large, lot of things to be done yet. We just scratched the surface. The market is so huge and massive that it will take another 5-10 years to make like a meaningful contribution to the country and the economy.
What are some of the most sought after job categories on your platform? And what are the different trends that you see about the blue collar industry of India?
Yeah. So let me answer second one first, right? So I
Yeah.
think at national average, like only 20% females actually work, right?
Mm.
On our platform, around 40% females actually get a job. So if I say 180,000 people, if we are providing jobs,
Mm-hmm.
around 80 to 90,000, 80,000 people are females, which is higher than the national average.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because the kind of jobs we have provided, right, which females are very looking to work on, right? So that's one key focal area also that we had. So that's one of the interesting trend that we see, which is very different from the market or at a national level. Other things, right, is so I just missed your first question. What was the first question that you had?
The categories, which job categories?
Yeah. So the most sought after categories we look is towards this. They call the candidates call it as back office category. So
Mm-hmm.
what this category means is jobs like office admin, computer operator, basically desk jobs,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the most sought after category on the platform. Then telecalling, right, is also one of the category where people are applying for jobs a lot. We are actually now also into entry level. So we don't call ourselves just a blue collar platform. We are also now into entry level white collar. So accounts as a
Mm-hmm.
job is also a very lucrative category, followed by delivery boy jobs, office boy jobs, receptionist jobs, technician jobs, right? So all these are like the top categories that we have on our app today.
Got you. Now moving on to the next part. Tell us about your personal journey of entrepreneurship. So why did you choose entrepreneurship? What motivated you to switch from a well-paying job to into a uncertain path?
So see, when I was in college, right, I was fortunate during that time that there was a startup boom just started to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about 2012, 2013 days, uh, right? And fortunately, I worked in a startup as an intern,
Okay.
uh, right? And the objective was basically learning, right? The internship was for free,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, ki, chalo kaam karte, let's see what the work is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did some exciting work in 3 months. Then I had a couple of ventures we started in my college, but we all got like lucrative jobs. We moved to jobs, right?
Mhm.
But once I entered to Credit Suisse, right, I worked there for almost 8-10 months initially, and what happened was because I had worked in a startup, because I've tried to start something in my college days,
Mhm.
I started questioning myself that will will I be able to do this job for next 50 years?
Okay.
Right? And you started questioning yourself that why you are going today to work, right? And there was no clear answer. I was not feeling great, right? Because you are one out of 51 people who are working,
Mhm.
and I just wanted to do something meaningful in life. Uh, and and one day I just decided that let me do something of my own,
Okay.
and start something which is meaningful in nature.
Mhm.
Luckily, like I was just when I took this decision, I was just 23,
Mhm.
and when we started Work India, I was just 23, right? So I didn't have liabilities. The only thought was that कुछ बड़ा करना है. That was the only thought that we had. There was no liability. Salary कितना मिलेगा, क्या होगा. I was very clear that there will be immense learning.
Mhm.
Even if I fail, I was not afraid of failure, and I was always very excited about the problem statements that we were about to solve. So, right, as an engineer, right, as an engineer or as a someone who build things,
Mhm.
the, it's a dream, right, to build a product, to build a business, or to build a company that will be used by millions of people,
Mhm.
right? And when we started working, that was something that really excited me. That we will be impacting 25.8 crore people of India, and we are developing a product for them, for something very exciting, a massive problem to solve, and I just felt that this is the right time that I should try it out, and there was no cost
Mhm.
per se of basically doing that. So my suggestion is that there are a lot of young people think about careers, think about money, right?
Mhm.
Uh, right. I because I've done that, I've seen that. I feel that young people, right,
Mhm.
maybe at the age of like 25, 26, 27, should look for exponential curves,
Mhm.
right? That mean that in the short run you might feel that you're making less,
Mhm.
but if there's an exponential curve, that can only happen through more learning, getting the right set of mentors, getting the right set of people to work with should be the focal area for initial 3-4 years of uh, the journey right after college or graduation, in whichever field you are,
Mhm.
right? And so I always looked at that, like what can give me that exponential curve uh, in my own life, right? And I just felt that this was something which is perfect, and we still do that in the company. So whenever we basically take a decision, right, it's more about what decision can give me that exponential curve
Mhm.
versus a linear curve, right? Because in the long run, right, the compounding just takes place. If you just
Right.
if you are right and you do the right thing.
Correct. Correct. So one thing in India, a lot of people don't pursue entrepreneurship because they don't find the right co-founders. Just wanted to ask you, how did you find your co-founder?
So let me introduce my co-founder first.
Sure.
His name is Kunal Patil, uh, and he's very senior.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I was fortunate, very fortunate to get in touch with him. Uh, and he had worked in US in a company called Merrill Lynch. He was doing very well there, right? And after working 15 years in total in different companies in India and abroad,
Mm-hmm.
so he was into New York also. Right, he came back to India, and his thoughts and my thoughts were pretty much similar to do something big
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the social enterprise space, uh, uh, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way he contacted was that he basically took a incubation. So my college name is SPIT, Sardar Patel Institute of Technology. It's basically in Mumbai,
Mm-hmm.
or right in the SPGN campus.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a room in the incubation center.
Okay.
We have an incubation center on the top floor
Mm-hmm.
in the college, right? And he basically did took a room, and he wanted a tech co-founder. So he
Mm-hmm.
just met all the professors,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the professor just told that Nilesh is a very good guy, and he won't join, but because he's very settled in Great Suisse, doing great things there. And by that time, I already resigned at Great Suisse, so I was
Oh,
also
wow.
looking to start something of my own. So he just called me up, and we met in a hotel next day, and
Mm-hmm.
luckily things went well, right? And yeah, post that we have been working together for past now 8 years. Very fortunate to learn from him. Taught many things because he was much senior than me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 15 years senior to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And things just went well post that. That's how it happened.
Wow, interesting story. My final question before we end this session, tell us what is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur, or who is an entrepreneur?
So, yeah, I would say entrepreneur is difficult. It's a difficult journey. You can call it as a trauma
Mm-hmm.
in the real sense, because and most of the times you'll be ambiguous, you'll be self-doubting, you'll be thinking maybe I'm not the right person to do it, right? Most of the times,
Hmm.
uh, right? And it's about knowing yourself, who you are,
Hmm.
right? So the journey itself is so intrigued and so fascinating or so traumatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to know who you are, and uh, you get to know like what are positives, negatives, right? And you have to accept it and move ahead with that, right? So entrepreneurship is just about knowing yourself, traumatic, interesting, and fascinating, uh, for one.
Well,
And just one thing, it's not like for everyone, to be honest, right?
yeah,
It's not for everyone.
that's right.
In the whole world, if you do all the probability and statistical analysis, a
Hmm.
logical mind would say that you should never do entrepreneurship.
Why is that?
Right? A logical mind, you just apply probability, right? Like out of thousands of companies, 0.01% actually make it. So
Hmm.
apply all the probability, everything, the amount of money you make will be always be lower than what you will make in a real job, right? Uh, so the logical mind will always say no, but it's more about, and it's more about doing what your heart says and just doing it.
So, on this note, we'll end the session. Thanks for your time, Mr. Nilesh, and it was a pleasure to have you on our platform. And I would say my best wishes for Work India.
Thank you, Priya, for your time. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilesh.
Thank you.